the Trump thing? Why would his derangement towards Trump
because
blow out
Trump,
his circuits?
Sam made one terrible call with Trump. He said that he was the evil Chauncey Gardner, like a simpleton, like Mr. Magoo, just happens to wander into the Oval Office as the first president with zero government experience, including the armed services. Bullshit. Trump may be a savant, but he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If you do not give that devil its due, you're toast.
Yeah, it's silly to say that he's dumb because he's different. He says some dumb stuff sometimes, but oftentimes he's talking off the top of his head.
Oh, I don't even...
Like maybe use some bleach, clean it out. Remember that?
Exactly.
Use some... but meanwhile, one of the things that he said about using light...
Right.
Actually, they came up with a process of doing that. That was an actual procedure that they would use where they use ultraviolet light inside a person's lungs and kill the COVID virus. This was like a concept that they were actually putting forth as being possible. So what he said, even though it sounded ridiculous,
right.
like get light into the body, it actually was right.
But that's the thing. So then a bunch of people said, okay,
right.
I'm going to put a minus sign in front of Trump. Everything that he says is just wrong. Right?
You can't do that.
Well, they do this to Alex Jones. They do this to James O'Keefe, and they'll do it to you and me.
They've definitely done it to me. They've definitely done it to you, too. It's a thing that people do. Look, just because someone – look, I say dumb things all the time, constantly. My kids make fun of me.
I never do.
I am always saying dumb things because I talk sometimes before I totally think. But then I go, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And then I'll correct it. Like I'm trying not to be married to my thoughts. There's a real problem.
You're great at this, by the way.
There's a real problem. Well, because I recognize my fucking shortcomings.
Me too.
You know, I know that I'm scattered, okay, because I do a lot of different things, and I'm thinking about things that are totally unnecessary, like professional pool matches. Like I think about that all the time. Like, how did he get positioned on that 6-ball? It's crazy. And I'll think about that when I'm driving my car. So like I'm a scatterbrain in a lot of ways. So sometimes when I'm talking, I'm there, but I'm not like fully formed in these thoughts. I'm just trying to talk them out in real time.
Right.
And you get clumsy with that. And when you concentrate on something, you get really good at it. And if you concentrate on something and try and improve on something, whether it's playing chess or whether it is business, you get really good at it. And in the meanwhile, you might not be good at interpersonal relationships. You might not be good at the way you communicate with people. You might not be good at, but you have some weird thing that you're doing that seems to be successful, and you're putting all your energy into that. That's what he's doing. That's what he's always done. What he's always done is like these business deals and making money and putting a fucking giant hotel with his name on it. Whoa! Like that's what he thinks about. And he's really good at that shit.
I would say he's tactical in the extreme.
You can't say he's not smart. It's just like he's just not Sam Harris. He's not capable of those kind of eloquent speeches and conversations off the cuff like that, which is a totally different skill.
Yeah, but if you looked at his tweets, for example, back in the day, there was so much formula in those tweets. I started coming up with like a template. He had 5 different tweets.
Yeah.
And Sam just would not let go of the idea that he's a dum-dum. And that was super expensive in the long run.
But I think it's because Sam knows that if you get in a debate with that guy, he could trounce him. Part of it is that
you think
yes,
Sam could trounce him
if they got in a debate about religion. If they got in a debate about certain things that Sam is like neuroscience, certain things that Sam is very educated in. He's so good at debates. It's like being a black belt that's used to tapping people all the time. And then you see this guy he's winning debates against people because he's calling them like, what does he call, Lion Ted? And he gives people nicknames.
Right.
And I think if I was Sam and I was as good as debate as Sam is, I would go, I can fuck this guy up.
Sam doesn't know what's coming to him if that's true, because there was a guy named Max Bleacher.
I'm sorry, Sam, drag you into this.
Who was a Los Angeles attorney who had a crazy idea. He said, I'm going to try really complex antitrust cases in front of juries. Like, the jury's not going to be able to follow that. He's like, exactly. I'm going to speak simply. Look, one way to win one of these arguments is just say, the problem is the nuclear family. Right? And every single Democrat will say, you mean nuclear, and then you've lost. Because when you correct somebody who's saying nuclear, we're like, okay, it's nuclear, egghead, you lose.
Nuclear is a way to say it too.
It is now. So
That's how George W. Bush always said it, and everybody's like, "Hey, what the Dennis Miller had a bit about it."
But it wins, right?
Yeah.
So this is why if you sit down with one of these, like if you and I are at the beach, right, and we've got the world's greatest beach volleyball team on one side and the world's greatest CPAC tuck row team on the other side, it's a ball, it's a net, and it's three dudes, okay?
Okay.
Who wins?
The people that are better?
Nope.
Who?
Depends who the ref is. If the ref thinks it's volleyball, then the volleyball team will win. And if the ref thinks it's CPAC tuck row, the CPAC tuck row team will. It's the same.
I don't know what CPAC tuck row is.
Oh, it's like the most beautiful.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's similar to the thing with that ball that we have out there that
Oh,
You have
the
like one of these
David
rattan
Leduc
balls?
gave us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like martial arts ballet in
Oh my
the
God,
air with
that's
the
amazing.
feet. It's the best game ever. I don't know why we're
It's
not doing
amazing.
it. Right.
Well, we can't do it. Those guys are fucking.
I destroyed my left ankle on this game.
Oh,
when I
you
was,
can't be doing that. You can't.
No. When I was a young man, I was courting my wife. I was going to impress her in Indonesia. Show like let an American take over. Okay, here we go.
These guys are phenomenal.
Okay.
Like that is insane. I mean, that's like 100 Yair Rodriguez's out there. Yair Rodriguez is a UFC fighter who fights like that.
I almost did it with boxing versus UFC, right? Is the issue punching people in the face, or is the issue doing everything except for small joints and eye sockets?
That kind of thing, though, requires like a kind of dexterity that's very difficult to acquire. Like that kind of dexterity with your legs, that's like a Taekwondo dexterity.
100%. The question is, what are the rules? So in other words, if Sam Harris goes up against Donald Trump, I can tell you who's going to win depending upon how we score.
Okay. What if they have a conversation instead of like having this? Here's what I don't like about debates.
Yeah.
What's artificial is that one person gets to talk for X amount of time.
Yeah.
It seems silly to me. I don't mind someone being able to talk, but it has to be a conversation. Someone cannot dominate the conversation.
Sure.
Like you and I, if you and I had a disagreement and I just wouldn't let you talk, it's very frustrating. It sucks. It's not good for anybody.
It's more likely to go the other way. I'm sorry.
It could happen that way. It could happen that way, but it doesn't matter. It's like it's not fun, and it's not fair. And like, if you're gonna have, it's like a fight. You can't. I can poke you in the eye, but you can't poke me in the eye. No, that's not fair.
Right.
It has to be fair. So if you're going to have and some would say, well, he's not capable of having a good faith conversation, but that's the only way to do it. The only way to do it is to have an open-ended time frame where you could just, until this fucking thing is resolved or
Right.
until we all give up, you guys can talk.
Was Dick Fosbury fair?
Who's Dick Fosbury?
The high jump guy from '68 in Mexico City.
I don't know. What happened?
Oh, he figured out you had to go backwards over the bar rather than scissoring it.
Oh, he's the first guy to figure that out?
Yeah.